Welcome to the place to be reviews.
The power of Grayskull.
It's my old power sword. We're going to talk about He-Man here today, ladies and gentlemen. Masters of the Universe Revelation. There's been some new revelations, no pun intended, that have to do with the show and certain characters. And we've seen the second trailer now, so we know that Kevin Smith was completely lying. How much involvement does he actually have in this show? Is he just a figurehead? Last night on the podcast, episode 159 of Monday Night Going in Raw, we talked about this. Vinny Tartamella, he has some inside knowledge of this, and he discussed with us about how Kevin Smith is just a figurehead. We've got two articles, one from Bounding into Comics, one from Cosmic Book News. Let's get into them, see what they have to say about the situation. Monkeys, roll the footage.
It's me, Austin! Oh, son of a bitch!
Yeah, that works.
I like
all right,
that.
okay. All right, moving on.
Hey, what about Tulip?
He-Man is now black.
And you ain't black.
In Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe Revelation. This comes to us from Cosmic Book News last night from Matt McGloin. It's kind of funny. He-Man doesn't really look black.
That's racist!
I mean, the blonde hair, the blue eyes, the lack of melanin count. He doesn't really look too black to me. But anyway, let's move on with the article and see just how black He-Man is.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
It's learned that He-Man is now black in the Kevin Smith Masters of the Universe Revelation series coming to Netflix, where it has also become known they passed on using an original black character.
Damn!
Now, this would seem to contradict all the push for diversity and inclusion, but it would just back up the theme that the writers of this show are lazy, as are the writers of most shows that choose to go the woke route and just race swap or gender swap a character. It just exudes laziness. Before we continue, it should actually be noted that all the ideas for Masters of the Universe Revelation are coming from Netflix executive Ted Biaselli.
Fuck that puto!
As Smith was simply hired to develop and promote the series. Kevin Smith isn't even a He-Man fan. Right here, we'll highlight this. They came from Ted Biaselli, and Smith was hired to develop and promote, which, because we know Kevin Smith is a infamous crier, very prevalent on social media for crying, and this is funny. This says he's not coming up with the ideas. He's not the mastermind behind all this, contrary to what Netflix and Kevin Smith would have you believe. Ted Biaselli, as we've shown his photo, is the one who is behind all this. This article will dive into that a little bit more. So apparently Ted Biaselli's big idea for He-Man is to make the character as woke as possible. As it already appears, Teela will become new He-Man based on the trailers and official series descriptions.
Oh, what the fuck ever!
But Ted Biaselli didn't stop there, as He-Man's grandfather has been race swapped, changed from a white dude to a black dude. I don't know why they went with the term dude. I mean, they couldn't just say person or man. I don't know. But dude, whatever. Recall how I have said Hollywood would never allow He-Man, a blonde white male, to be made out to look good in the series. And now we see the character is changed to have black ancestors and get replaced by the woke Teela. Here is the picture of He-Man and his black ancestor.
Why?
This is supposed to be his grandfather.
Why are you the way that you are?
A couple days ago, spoiler pages from the official Masters of the Universe Revelation tie-in comic book from Dark Horse leaked online, revealing that He-Man's grandfather is now black. As Bleeding Cool has pointed out, the 2002 version of He-Man in the Masters of the Universe cartoon showed He-Man's grandfather to be King Devon Grayskull, a blonde white dude. But Masters of the Universe Revelation tie-in comic book shows He-Man's grandfather to be black, with it known the character will be voiced by African-American actor Dennis Haysbert in the Netflix animated series. This is really funny. I don't understand why this would make sense to them. It's like, because He-Man then I would think genetically, show at least some genetic traits, hereditary traits from that side of the family. The spoiler made its way onto a He-Man and She-Ra fan Facebook group, where a fan remarked about preferring they make new black characters instead of race-swapping original white characters, where Ted Biaselli defended his choice to make He-Man black and said, quote, "No one gives a shit about an original black character."
That's racist!
Ted Biaselli, very woke, saying nobody gives a shit about original black characters. Let's read this quote from Ted here. I hear you, and that indeed will be a party of our story too. But a big hurdle when you're introducing a new character to a line of so many well-established characters is that they are bound to be outsiders and harder to accept as canon, at least for a while. Nobody gives a shit about Sir Laser a lot.
Sure, Jan.
First part of his quote. They're outside. They're bound to be outsiders. It's harder to accept as canon, at least for a while. Nobody gives a shit about Sir Laser-Lot. I know a lot of people who like Sir Laser-Lot. As far as nobody giving a shit about him or, you know, these new characters being harder to accept as canon, well, that's the part where the writers have to step up and give people reasons to care about them, make the characters compelling, give them rich, deep backstories that you let out little by little. You know, it's not just one big exposition dump. You know, endear them to your audience, and then people will care about them. You can't just put a character out there and shove them to the forefront and be like, accept them, love them, worship them.
How about new?
Well, because you should, because we said so, because we put them there. That's not how that works. They need to earn that. And that's earned through good storytelling and, you know, great character development, not just putting them out there at the forefront and saying,
Look, we are, there's Flexies, oh my godsies, we have diversity, and brown, and yellow, and pink, and purple, and green, and blue, and everybody, yay!
it's like, well, were they in that story? Did it make sense for them to be in the story?
Well, no, we just needed to put them there to, you know, because we have to have diversity.
This whole genre of making these existing intellectual properties woke, it's mentally taxing and draining to people like me, because I get called names for speaking out against this and not just blindly accepting it. And the people that blindly accept it are the problem and the reason we're here in the first place. We asked ourselves early on about the need for two giant white blonde dudes in the pantheon of Motu. And honestly, it makes both characters less special in their iconography. I wish I could take credit for being one with the idea to make Grayskull black, because now, in the history of all the champions of Grayskull, a black man has a role of prominence, as opposed to just being the guy with the clamp who's King Randor's bodyguard. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. So they did this admittedly for no other reason other than to have a black man in a role of prominence in Motu. That's it. That's the reason. And I love how they say, well, you have to be able to see yourself in these characters. If you have to only identify with heroes that look like you, you're not going to identify with too many of them, no matter what color you are, because not everybody looks like a hero. And that goes for any color, race, creed, ethnicity, or religious affiliation you may have. And I'm not against black characters in Masters of the Universe. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is, it doesn't make sense to race swap He-Man's fucking grandfather. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Let's get nuts!
This is your answer to needing more diversity in Masters of the Universe. You're just
It's like, fuck it. Let's pick, remember King Grayskull? How he was He-Man's grandpa and he was white? Fuck it, he's black.
you know, why? It doesn't matter. They'll accept that they have to, or else they're racist. Ted Biaselli also addressed race-swapping Lieutenant Andra. Andra is the young lady pictured in this photo right here, next to Tila and Evelyn and Roboto. Same thing with Andra. She was initially created as a new character. It was my idea to dig into the lore and raise up a character who had a small appearance but a strong following. See, there it is right there. She had a strong following but a minor appearance. So, like, nobody will care if we make her black. They'll applaud us for it. It's stunning and brave.
You serious?
People have been wanting to see Tila and Andra fight side by side for a while, as opposed to creating a new character that could easily be rejected. Honestly, do we really need two badass redheads?
What the fuck is wrong with this guy, man?
Motu has no women of color, and we saw an opportunity and took it. Why not give little black girls a hero that looks like them? See, there it is right there. Why not give little black girls a hero that looks like them? Nothing wrong with that in theory. Absolutely not. That's wonderful. But, you are tokenizing. You are fucking tokenizing. Say it with me real slow. You are tokenizing these characters. characters for the sake of your own
Sheer fucking hubris.
and laziness. Because you're too lazy and stupid to write original characters, so you continue to tokenize and bastardize the existing lore. And this Ted Biaselli is a perfect example of why you don't need executives coming up with creative decisions. Leave that to the writers and producers and things of the like. Worth a mention is that the Sir Laser-Lot character Ted Biaselli is referring to is an original black character created by Jeff Johns that Johns came up with when he was 8 years old, which saw Mattel develop years later as officially part of Masters of the Universe. Clamp Champ is also an original black character in the Masters of the Universe and was the only black character to get a toy as part of the original line in the 1980s. So Ted Biaselli is stating that instead of developing a black character they already have that he doesn't give a shit about, he would rather race swap the entire lineage of He-Man and replace other characters.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
What the Ted? You So we see the picture here with Orko, Andra, Tila, Roboto, and Evelyn. I have 2 Robotos, actually, and I still have all their attachments for their arms. He was actually created as part of a contest by a Masters of the Universe fan back in the 80s, which is kind of just a cool side story for Roboto. And I ended up with 2 Robotos and 2 Spikors. Okay, one thing I have to point out here, and a lot of people were like up in up in arms about this, as somebody who works out and loves fit women. I do have to compliment them on Evelyn especially, and Teal and Andra. I like the guns. I do. I like it. I'm sorry. That's about the only thing that I like about any of this, though. Like I said, though, it's kind of weird seeing Tila and Evelyn all yoked out. In Tila, you could see, you know, in the action figure, her hair is all pulled up on top of her head. You could never see Evelyn's. She never had her hair down on the action figure anyway. She always had her head, her crown on, or whatever, helmet. They made their arms look more like He-Man and Skeletor, which, like I said, not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't mind, you know. But you don't have to make the jaws all square. Like, okay, so Tila's jaw is very square. Evelyn, even though she has those pipes, still has a very rounded, feminine-looking jawline. Tila and Andra do not. Orko looks cool. I'm not gonna lie. Roboto looks dope. I dig it. But yeah, the rest of it is just, yeah, it's kind of like they made Tila look like a guy. They really did. With her face and the half shave.
The lesbian!
You know they're gonna imply somewhere along the line that Tila and Andra are together and probably
Scissor me timber!
Now, you fools, let's move on to the second article. All right, here we are over in Bounding into Comics. We'll look at this Masters of the Universe Revelation comic book. And this is kind of funny because Evelyn and Tila look good here. Like, they look good. They look normal. Like, a little bit of definition in the delts for Evelyn. But they both look accurate. He-Man looks good. Skeletor looks good. It's a nice looking comic cover. And we're back here. So Ted Biaselli from Netflix is basically the brains behind this entire race swap operation with Masters of the Universe, which doesn't bode well for the show. It really doesn't. And it makes Kevin Smith look even stupider because he's the one trotting around arguing with Clownfish TV saying, no, it's not woke. No, Tila's not the star. And whereas now we know that Tila is going to be the focus, or at least one of the main focuses of this show, which doesn't play well for He-Man and the rest of us who are looking forward to seeing He-Man in the Masters of the Universe, which Tila's already one of, we know. We don't need He-Man to be usurped by Tila in the name of intersectional feminism and wokeness on behalf of Netflix to screw up a 40-year-old cartoon. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, did it ruin your childhood, man, baby? No, but it ruins the entire mythos and lore of the show, the comics, and the characters to bastardize and tokenize like this, and tokenization does nobody any favors, ladies and gentlemen. We've been over this time and time again. It's lazy. It shows no respect for the people in real life who want to see characters that may happen to look like them. So what do you think? I think this is a joke. I'm going to review every episode of this show with Tony Tonedeaf. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm Temple Queen, the place to be reviews. I've been here with all of yous, and if I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow. And it's better to burn out than fade away. No, is that alright? That was? I wanted to use this. I wanted to use the power sword. I did. By the power of the place to be reviews! Not that one. I could have used this. The Havoc Staff and the shield. You'll never take me alive, He-Man. You muscle-bound boob. No. I know the Havoc Staff is too short. I mean, I got it when I was like 3. I know Skeletor wouldn't put his own face on his shield. Maybe he would put his oon face on his shield. He-Man, it's not your show anymore, my planet.